Wonder why that's doing that. That's not ideal. Let's try something. This is ZA6YI. That's a very funny thing. Let's see. Deactivate, activate. Huh. I don't know why that should be. It's all gone very, very, very blurry. Okay, let's see. There's nothing there. All right, that's a nice start to the day. This is ZA6YI, operating the worldwide DATV Net. We welcome everybody on frequency. And hello from PU2QZK so far on YouTube. And we also wish to thank those that are on the net. We'll see who's the participants in a minute. As usual, we want to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite, co-hosting us, or hosting us rather, with our amateur radio geostationary satellite, the first one for amateur radio in the world, developed by the German AMSAT DL group, AMSAT DL, as well as we had a lot of input from the RSGB and also AMSAT UK. And without the help of the BATC, British Amateur Television Club, and their wonderful webpage, it would have been nigh impossible for many amateurs to come onto this mode. It's still quite a new mode, although it's about 5-6 years we've been on. But yeah, the barrier to entrance is not very easy, I may say, although I must also admit with Simon Brown, G4ELI's new software, it becomes a lot easier to come onto this mode. Our footprint is the entire Africa, part of Antarctica, a little smidgen of South America, Brazil, and the whole of Europe, basically, right into India as well. So the satellite has a tremendous footprint, and it's a lot of fun coming onto it. Sometimes we have nets like an 80-meter net, the old days, but this time you can see the chap, and it's in perfect video, so it's fantastic if you think how far amateur radio has come in the last few years. Right, let's just, why am I over-modulating? Let's just have a look-see who's on the list today. So far we only have 3, my goodness, normally it's many more, so obviously the timing is not suited to the UK or wherever. But yeah, I just hope this thing's going out. It looks like it is. Let me just check quick on the screen. And that's now YouTube. We quickly see. 3, my goodness. Okay, yeah, it's coming on. It's all good. So I forgot to look at that just now. Yeah, I've been having a lot of difficulty with a down converter, the QO-100 down converter, but that's a discussion for a bit later. Right, so hopefully more guys will come on. Maybe. Let me just see on the BATC net if I can quickly see if anyone's on that. Not. So, Leon, if you will mind taking it, I'd appreciate that. ZS1 mic to take it. Let me get my microphone and video back on, sorry. Okay, I'll say. So, ZS1 Mexico to please take it from ZS6YI. YI.
Okay. Right. Hi Gary, ZS6YI and the group ZS1MM saying good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all those watching and listening. Gary, you've changed something in your audio. It's very bassy. it's lost some of its sparkle on the top end and it's become very bassy. I don't know whether you've moved the microphone or whether you've altered the tone settings or something, but otherwise it's all fine. Yeah, your camera was totally out of focus and just as you started moving around there, the autofocus kicked in and it came right. Yeah, they do that sometimes. Looks like you waited till the last moment before you switched on the camera. Anyway, here in Worcester, it is still cold and wet, and yeah, it's raining, and we had some high winds again earlier today, similar to the great storm we had a few weeks ago, when many trees and well, we were without power and everything. All the lampposts blew over, and yeah, it was over 200 kilometers an hour wind that we experienced here. Okay, yeah, you must tell us about your down converter. I noticed on our local, the Boland Net, there is a new converter, up and down, all in one. I think it's from Romania or somewhere. 14,000 rand. It does everything. You just hook it up to a HF set. It does HF and 2 meters, I think. Any of those you can hook up to it, and you're on QO-100. So very interesting. Anyway, I'm sure you'll know about it. Yeah, about an hour or so ago, I had a nice QSO with Frank, DD Nooit CV, in Ubersol. And yes, he said he had a QSO with you, and I was asking where he was. Very interesting. He says he's going to what? That faraway place, Morocco or somewhere, what? Mongolia. He's going to Mongolia. He says he has a Mongolian license now too. And he's going to do some HF work from there, portable HF station. I didn't know that he was so involved in HF. But anyway, I was very glad to see him. I haven't seen him for a long time. And he was one of the early birds here on QO-100. With a decent signal, let's put it that way. Yeah. Okay, Henry, over to you. ZS6 Mike Charlie for the group from ZS1 Mike in Worcester.
Let's put on the mic. Okay, there we go. Let's see when the audio comes through. There we go. Audio is through. Okay, very nice. Thank you very much, Leon, and good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you, Gary. Nice to see you both on today. Yes, it's quite cold here as well in this part of the world, in Johannesburg. I think the temperature must be somewhere around about 18 degrees. It's very cold. This morning, I took my wife out for breakfast, and we sat outside, and I can tell you now, I just look for sun. Anyway, that's part of the fun. So yes, very nice to see you both, and good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everybody else that is watching today. Very nice indeed to have you on. And on my side, I haven't been on for, I think, 2 Sundays, Gary. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't been around. Father's Day played a big role in our lives here, and so therefore I missed out on that Sunday for sure. Let me just make sure that I'm not doing something terribly wrong. No, it's another WhatsApp. Okay, so from my side, Gary, I also want to mention I saw DD0 Charlie Whiskey. It was nice to see him, and haven't seen him on for a long time. So it's actually very good to know that the originals are still around. It's actually a good thing. And I just want to make a note with regards to the weather in the UK. I think it's extremely hot. I think most of the shacks, the guys generally don't have air conditioning. So the shacks must be extremely hot. So the guys are not even going inside there, I suppose, and not taking a chance in warming up or over temperaturing their transmitters. Anyway, it's all very interesting what's happening. So, yes, and the other thing I wanted to mention, Gary, it looks like the BATC net, they put a 5-minute limit on overs. Yeah, that's what they've been doing lately, and everybody's got like a timer with a gong. It says, okay, that's it, time to stop talking now. Anyway, all that I can tell you is I want to thank Benno. I actually did receive this little item, which I'm sure you recognize. I'm just trying to see if I can get some light on the subject. There we go, more or less. It's an RF sniffer, and what it does is it takes the RF and it converts it to 5 volts. So depending on the amount of RF you're coming into this thing, obviously you've got to be very, very careful and not put too much power into it. I think it can only handle 5 dBm max. So you've got to be very, very careful what you put into it. So in my case, both of you showed me last time we spoke a coupler. And the couplers, I've got a 30 dB coupler, but I've got 2 of them. I've got a 20 dB and a 30 dB, which will give me 50 dBs, which should be ample for the kind of power that I run in any case. But it's all just an experiment. It's actually to see if I can do it. So that's what I'm doing. So I've programmed everything. So everything's been programmed already in the Arduino IDE. And so it's a matter of connecting everything up, making sure that everything works wonderfully, and then A4 away. But as you say, Leon, you're not going to go that way. I don't blame you. But I just wanted to learn how to do this programming in Python. To me, it was very, very interesting. And besides that, you might see this little device here. It's an interesting little device. It's called a CYD, or a cheap yellow display. I got this as a present from a guy. They normally about $12, which is what times 16 times 20 is 240. So it will be around about 200 Rand, South African rands. And yeah, you program this thing. And in this case, I've programmed it for the HF spots. And it's also got a very interesting little... Come on. Sorry, guys. I just want to change it. And it's also got the solar information in it. So it tells you what the solar flux is, the amount of sunspots there are, the K factor, the A factor, and all that kind of stuff. Just, guys, it's just for interest. It's just to be able to learn something, to keep the old synapses all connected and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's what I've been busy with, and I've been having great fun with it. So there we go. Nothing more to add. I think that is it for now, and we'll chat on the next over. So Gary, I don't know if anybody else has come on. I actually haven't got the spreadsheet on the display, so I can't tell you if anybody else has logged in the meantime, but I'm going to hand it to you, and if somebody has, could you please hand it to them? I really would appreciate that. Okay, guys, there we go. Thank you very much. All the best, and we'll speak on the next over. ZS6YI with ZS1MM. This is ZS6MC.
Wants to pop in, but not at this moment. So it's just the 3 of us. My goodness, this net's getting smaller and smaller. We might have to change the times again. But anyway, all good. I just want to say hi to Tito in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Papa Uniform 20 Zulu Kilo, Oscar Zulu Kilo. And of course, Albert, who always comes up, ON4 Alpha Alpha Hotel. So not even many people on YouTube today. That's actually quite strange. But yeah, also don't forget the Grand Prix had just stopped not so long ago. So I think it was the Austrian Grand Prix, so many people will be looking at that. Anyway, yeah, very good. Firstly, Leon, the saga, I haven't done much since I spoke to you this morning or this afternoon earlier. I'll need to get a piece of coax long enough and then couple up the LNB, the down converter. It's a CUNY down converter. And I'm having a bit of issues with two of them. Either the local oscillators either jumped frequency, because I know that happened in the CUNY up converter not so long ago. And not mine, it belonged to Louis. And he came and he couldn't get on the air at all. So I put it on a spectrum analyzer and saw that he was way out of band actually. So he needed to reprogram the thing, but it's got an old-fashioned TTL type program instead of it being USB. So I don't think he did it. But I had a very similar thing, which I surmise with my CUNY down converter, because that's just noise. So today I stripped the antenna or the potty and checked everything, cleaned it up. It was a couple of years out in the rain and sun. Didn't do the brass too much good, but anyway, cleaned it up reasonably well. And checked the little dipole or the little, shall we say, quarter wave stub I've got inside the potty, or the wave guide, so to speak. And that looked fine. Measured it, everything was fine. It used to work perfectly, but no, I just get noise. So I thought, hang on, I've got a second down converter. Let me try that. Same thing. Now, the second down converter belonged to Louis. When he packed up, I took over his DATV station, his CUNY up converter as well, and down converter, as well as his Pluto. However, I've never put the things on the air. So today I thought, wait, let me try the other down converter, seen that I've got it. Same thing, just wideband noise. So I checked everything and I thought, well, the only other common thing now could be the little voltage bias T device. So I checked that, swapped them around actually just for speed. No difference. So two things are possible, I think, and I agree with Leon there. It could be that local oscillator that's hopped for whatever reason, lightning strike or whatever. Maybe the gas vet front end could have gone, both of them. I think Leon had a strike as well, or a very close strike. But anyway, we'll have to get these things sorted. And because I see on Tuesday, I've got a German radio school club coming up. They want to have a QSO. And on Wednesday, both at 900 UTC, which is 11 o'clock South African time. But it will be on narrow band. Normally we use a frequency of 740, not too far below the beacon, 10 kcs below the beacon. So we normally use that for the school, the Swiss schools, and now there's a German school in Berlin. And Andreas is also coming up with a group. I don't know exactly where he'll be. But I had a QSO with Charlie just now. And he asked if I could come up on Tuesday as well. So no problem. Then, yes, there's two, Leon. You can get the Hilberling. They make chap surname Hilberling in Germany makes beautiful HF analog, no digital stuff, proper analog transceiver. I had ordered one, And then the FCC didn't approve it for whatever stupid reason. And then he withdrew all the pre-orders and said that once he's got FCC approval, he would bring them back on market. But then I got so occupied with the salt mine and stuff, I didn't bother further. But it's really a fantastic set. So deep in the mornings, 2, 3 o'clock South African time, he was experimenting on QO-100 about just before COVID, actually. And he brought out a transceiver, up and down converter in the one box. But that's a lot more than the 14,000 Rand. And then DX Patrol has recently brought out one box, which is a good idea. It's up and down converter in one. Makes it very easy. You don't need computers. You just couple it onto your 2 meter and 70 centimeters or 28 megs. He's got different frequencies you can choose. So that's the latest. Makes it quite easy to come onto the SSB side or the narrowband. Right, Henry, not much news. I'm pleased you're still experimenting. That's great. It's wonderful to see. And I'm sure you're going to get it right. And nice on the sunspots and also the solar activity. Very good. I run the ZS6D and Beacon, as you know. But we haven't had electricity going now for 8 weeks at any of my factories. Now they're putting new transformers and it's still taken them about 3 weeks. They've got Eskom working on it and they're slow and ponderous. They couldn't care about the millions. It cost me now about 60,000 Rand a day just for one shift on the 2 factories. And I got a little bit of diesel, slightly cheaper, yes, on Friday, but it's still hellish expensive. It's I bought 1,000 liters, and I think he's charging me 27 Rand a liter. So it's a lot of money to just burn. Shouldn't be like that. But anyway, and then on Friday afternoon, a very interesting thing happened. There's a main DB station for different factories on the one premises. There's 7 factories, I think, that get electricity from this DB. Right next to this distribution center, the guys are hard at work putting in the new transformer and wiring it up and soaking it and, test soaking it. So about 70 people arrive, some from Mfuleni and from the Labour Department. They didn't come to us, but they went to their DB board and they cut off all the power. Just cut it with a big cutter. And then all the switchgear inside, they just smashed. And they reckon this is now the local council's unit because apparently the landlord owes them 10 million Rand, which is nonsense. I'm not the landlord, luckily. Otherwise, it would have been a murder. But anyway, so when the one group right next to each other is trying to build up, the other group breaks down. And then they went to where my big factories are, where I do the mining and the motor industry stuff. And they wanted to look for illegal immigrants or something, workers. Now, I know a guy, our neighbor, the Chinese chap, he does all recycling of plastics and stuff. He has a hell of a lot of them. But he bribes the cops, man. I've seen it. The police arrive, and these chaps run out the factory. But you see a tree suddenly developing. And it's one of these guys. They just become trees. They disappear, I tell you, into the ground. They're gone. And we actually find it humorous to see this lot happening. But they're targeting him now, this Chinese fella. Maybe rightfully so. The South African indigenous claims these people from all over Africa are taking away their jobs. On the other hand, our indigenous are rather lazy. They want everything for nothing. They join unions and sit on their backside and just want pay increases and for no productivity, nothing. So, you can't blame the manufacturers for trying to find a better solution. No? Anyway, so now they have threatened to come back on Monday. So we'll see what happens. It's got nothing to do with me, but I don't need them to run amok and cut off electricity and things, even though there's no electricity. But when it does come on, now we're going to have a second headache to get that going. So interesting times. Anyway, let's just see. We might be lucky and another participants come up. Not at all. It's rather quiet. I know my daughter said this last week in London has been horrendous. She stayed indoors all the time, and rightfully they don't have air conditioning because it never really gets to the point where they need to have air conditioning. But she's got a bed that you switch on and it goes cold. Some electronic thing. It goes very, very cold. So she was in that lying on top of the bed with that thing switched on. Anyway, that's life, eh? Right, so nothing else much to comment on. Henry, yeah, I'm glad you're doing those experiments, and it'll be interesting to see. You just need a sort of an idea of what power you've got. The idea I had was to calibrate it. I can bring my instrument up to you and we can calibrate at different amperage levels what your power is. Then you'll know. I just want to see, yeah, only running about 8 watts at the moment. And yeah, my clock's gone off. I've been talking for longer than about 10 minutes now. So with that, back to you, Leon. ZS1 Mexico to take it. No, I haven't changed anything on the mic. I might have brought it a bit closer. Might be that. But I hope I did quickly go in and take some of the boominess away, I hope. But anyway, back to you. ZS1 Mexico to take it. From ZS6 Yankee India. 6 Yankee India.
Okay, ZS6YI in the group, ZS1MM. Gee whiz, it's a small group. This I think this is an all-time record for a low attendance. Okay, right, let me see. The guy to contact Gary is ZS1 Alpha Lima Juliet. Apparently he imports them from Romania. And there's a guy here that says the LNB, the amplifier and the converter is about 12,000 Rand. Yeah, it's from Romania. And apparently they're very good and stable. So I don't know what make it is or who the manufacturer is. But anyway, ZS1 ALJ. Anyway, I'm not all that interested in the narrowband stuff. I've got my homemade concoction, which I run off a CB. I use a normal CB set as an exciter, and it works. Right, Henry, nice to see you as well. Oh yeah, I had a very interesting project this week. I refurbished a valve tester for a new friend of mine. He's also from Bredasdorp. He's a retired dentist, and his hobby now is to restore valve guitar amplifiers. You know, there are still guys who believe that the valve amplifiers are better for the distortion, and I don't know what sort of nonsense. Anyway, he asked me for some valves, and some of the valves had really weird numbers. You know, here towards the end of the valve era, we didn't see it in South Africa, but when color TV came in, when TVs were still valves, they invented some very, very fancy, very sophisticated valves, which, as I say, we never saw in South Africa, because by the time we got TV, it was all solid state. It wasn't valve TVs anymore. And the audio people started using these valves in some of the hi-fi valve equipment and also in the guitar amplifiers. like a 7199. I mean, it's a normal triode pentode. But the pinout is totally different to any of the common, like a 6U8 or something, which is also a triode pentode with the same specs, but the pinout is weird. In any case, so I made up some adapters for him for the valve tester. There it is. I'm going to get it back to him now. It's oh no, I can't remember the name, but it's British, and I managed to find the complete operating manual and the manual, the tables for all the different valves on the internet. It's the same as mine. Mine is a model B, and this is a model C, which can do even more valves than mine. But anyway, very, very interesting, and it was nice playing with the valves again. Yeah, they also have some twin triodes, like normal ECC 81s, 82s, and 83s, but then they have one there which is also one of these weird, just figures and no letters. And I also made an adapter for that so that it tests it as a ECC 82. It's got the same specs, but the pinout, the filaments especially, is in a different position. It's pin 4 and 5. Whereas in some of the others, that's very strange that they did that. Obviously, so you can't just plug in another twin triode. Anyway, so that was kept me busy for a day or two, and yeah, it's working fine. The normal 6L6s and EL34s and so on, no problem. I didn't have to do any modification there. Right. Gary, your sync all of a sudden is way out. Your audio sync is way out. Or as Mr. Spain says, your video sync is out. Yeah, the boominess is a bit better now, I think. But something happened to your audio sync, or the video sync, like Michael would say. Okay, Henry, over to you. ZS6 Mike Charlie for the group from ZS1 Mike Mike.
Okay. I'm a bit slow on the uptake. Let me just check and see I got audio. There we go. There we go. Why is that? I seem to have... I've got two different modules that I'm looking at. So, okay, I'm back. All right. Thank you very much, Leon, and very nice indeed. Thank you for that interesting discussion that you just developed there now, as well as you, Gary. Very interesting to hear what's happening in your part of the world with regards to your transformer. Yeah, there's big gemors coming. Tuesday is going to be a very interesting day up here. And Gary, as you know, and Leon, it's going to be an extremely interesting day for me in any case. So yeah, you know, it's the blame regime thing. You know, always look for blame somewhere else and never blame yourself. So I mean, I was always taught that you don't blame anybody else. You first look at yourself, see what the hell you've done to create that situation. So, so sort of first look at yourself, and then you can throw stones at somebody else. So yeah, so that's very, very interesting indeed, Gary. And I don't know what you've done on Tuesday, but basically it's a total shutdown up here in Joburg. Even my company said, don't come to work. Don't do that. So everybody's just going to operate from home, which we have done and we know how to do. So, but you can't, because of the intense work that you do. It's manufacturing. It's not stuff that you can just do on a computer. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah, also further comment. I think the heat is playing a huge role at the present moment in Europe. And I think your daughter must have some form of Peltier cooler in the bed, working from electricity, but it's just inverse cooling. So I'm glad she can keep cool. That's the most important, because I know listening to Sky News and BBC, I mean, the UK just never ever invested in air conditioning like we have done here in South Africa because it gets so hot down here. Anyway, yeah, all part of the interest. And Leon, yeah, interesting indeed. Okay, so he repairs valve guitar amplifiers. There's a guy in the US. I just can't remember. He's quite a character. He sort of starts his whole a YouTube channel thing with a glass of wine, and then he goes into the things that he fixes and so on. He's a very, very interesting chap, and he also goes around to all the flea markets. They don't call it flea markets. What do you call it? Places where you can buy equipment and so on, and he goes around there. So yeah. From a valve tester, yes, I've got a Mark IV and I've got a CT160. I've got two of them. I've got an Avo Mark IV and a CT160. I must admit, I use the CT160 all the time. That is the one that is my go-to. It's so simple to use that it just makes life extremely easy. The other thing is, with regards to sweep tubes, I had to do a bit of a modification, an external transformer for the heaters, because my Mark IV cannot handle that kind of current on the heaters. So I provide an external heater voltage, and then the rest of it I can use within the tube. So it is actually on a standoff. I put it on a standoff. If you ever need any strange valves, Leon, you most likely have spoken to Oliver, ZS6OG. He's got the complete collection of valves for the AWA. So there's a hell of a lot of valves there, and people just give him valves. So if ever you need anything that's strange, ask me and I'll ask Ollie, and we see if we can get what your friend needs down in Bredasdorp. Yeah. So, yes, I think that's it. Gary, thank you very much for that offer. I appreciate it. I'm going to see what I can do initially. And then if I get unstuck, I certainly will come to you for some hardware advice and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's basically me. I've got nothing much more to add at this stage of the game. In fact, I'm just going to look at the... there we go. Okay, I see you asking Frank to come in. So what I'll do is I'll hand it to Frank, and then he can come in. Very nice to see him. All right, so DD0 Charlie Whiskey to take it over. This is ZS6 Mike Charlie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Delta Zero Charlie Whiskey. Good afternoon to South Africa. Gary, Leon, Henry. And yes, it's very hot here, very hot. You can see the fan in the background. It's necessary. Temperatures are in the upper 30s, or in some regions also over 40 degrees here. But this night we expect a change. There should come some thunderbirds, or at least rain. I hope so. Yes, and we don't have enough water for my garden. I have a little bit, but I could, or I need more. And I think that's why also no Britons here, no other people, because it's too hot for worldwide net. Okay. I had already a little talk to Leon this afternoon, yes, and we exchanged what we did in the past, projects and so on. That's why nothing news here from me, and I give it back to Gary.
Okay, Frank, fantastic. Lovely to see you again. Yeah, I actually got hold of Frank the other day, it must be a month ago, on WhatsApp, and said, "Hey, Frank, I've forgotten what you look like, please." And he came back up. It was wonderful. Always nice to see you, Frank, and greetings to Germany from South Africa. Yeah, your weather is certainly more like Africa than Germany, for sure. 40 degrees, good grief. That is hot. Yeah, my daughter in London was also complaining it was the higher part of 30 degrees, 36, 37 or whatever. And it just was very, very hot. I see Frick is on as well, ZS6 Fox Zulu. He's listening. He lives in the same town I do. And he says it's a very cold day. Well, actually, by comparison, we start complaining if it gets to about 16 degrees C, then it's cold. But in the early morning, we can have sometimes even -6, -7 degrees, sometimes -8 degrees C for a short time. And then by 10 o'clock in the morning, it warms up quite nicely. So we have lovely weather. I would not swap the weather that we have as opposed to what Leon has, because he has winter and rain at the same time. I think I'd go nuts. Who else is... oh, Albert. He says it's cooling down a bit. This thing just fell off. Okay, Albert, yeah. Well, my daughter also said it was getting a bit cooler. And that's Albert. I just want to see... Why the hell? Yes, it's these cell phones. But that's ON4AAH. Says it's cooling down in his part of the world. That's good. Coming back, Leon, to that Bulgarian or Yugoslavian, I think you said, unit. I've got the amp and I've got an up converter. Very nice. I've hardly used it, but it's very good. That's exactly what old man, what's his name? He's using one of those overseas things. And it seems to be working out quite well for him. Oh, yes, PA3GUK from the Netherlands. He says it's cooling down a bit now. Nice to see you on the YouTube channel. Yeah, this is a world record. You know, Frank came on earlier and he said, I better come on to make it the worldwide net. Otherwise it could be known as the Zulu Sierra net. So I was happy Frank saved the day there. But yeah, we don't often have so few people on, eh? That is for sure. But yeah, it's always a first time. All right. What else to comment on? Not much. Yes, Henry, Tuesday is going to be quite a day. I suppose I'll have to let the staff off. I don't want to put their lives in danger because of some miscreant who has unguided and you can't believe the type of logic. But anyway, so perhaps my guys should stay at home. Yeah. And it's almost like the late 80s, eh? toying and fighting. So you would have thought by now that they were given the country on a silver plate. They would have made something out of it. Now it's gone backwards like hell. It's gone backwards. And now they complain. You'll never understand these missing links, but anyway. Right, back to you, Leon. ZS1 Mike to take it, ZS6YI. XYI.
Okay, ZS6YI and the group ZS1MM. And hello again to Frank. Yeah, nice seeing you again, Frank. Yeah, Gary, you didn't comment on your timing that is way out now. I don't know why that should be. I just noticed that as far as I know, my sync is in. I can just quickly check.
I don't know why that should be.
It never goes out.
As far as I know, my sync is in. I can just quickly check.
Yeah, the sync is in, but I have a lot of latency from when I speak here and when it comes back on the receiver. Takes much longer than all of you other guys. I don't know why. It's like the computer got out of bed with the wrong foot or something. Anyway, as long as it works. Yeah, it's Romania, Gary, where that thing comes from. Those it's an up and down converter. It's a transverter, and you just hook it up to a HF set or a 2-meter set. Frank, I don't know whether you switched off on our earlier QSO, but I said to you that I'm watching YouTube videos of the Steirische harmonica and people playing that, and I thought it was your town, Obersul, but it's Oberwold. It's spelled like that, and they had a picture of the town, you know, on the video. But anyway, just for interest, I don't know where that is, the exact country. It could be Switzerland, it could be Germany, it could be anywhere. Anyway, okay, Frank, yeah, no, I've got enough valves. I wasn't looking for valves, he was looking for valves. I've also got a vast store of valves here. And it's not sweep tube problems, and no, they're not using sweep tubes. They're using proper EL34s and 6L6s and stuff in the output. But funny, he says the biggest problems they have is with the small valves, like the twin triodes and things. They go microphonic and they go noisy and so on. Well, those I've got shoe boxes full of. That's not a problem. But now this one amplifier, I think it's a Fender. He said it's not high power. It's got 4 EL84s in the output, but it's got 2 output channels from what I saw in the description. But that thing has got that triode pentode for the spring reverb, which is normally done with a twin triode, but they're using a triode pentode. But it's a 7199. That's one of those new TV valves. I actually had some here. I found 2 of them. Where I got them, I don't know. But the valve tester couldn't test them, so I made hang on, I'll show you what I did. Just get the audio back on, Henri. Yeah, this is the this is the Sylvania triode pentode, and I did this. I made up this little adapter. You put a 7199 plugs in the top, and the bottom is a 6U8. So it's there's the bottom end. And there's the top end. You just plug the valve in there, and inside I've got crisscross wires to bring it up to the right thing. But yeah, a funny now. Where is the Sylvania? And this one is a General Electric one, also a 7199. You can't see it nicely there. It's in the getter area where the number is there. You can see a bit of this. Of the 799, there it is, 7199, General Electric. This one has got better connectivity than the Sylvania one, but anyway, they're both quite functional, and his tester can now test those ones as well. Then I made another adapter for this. This is the twin triode. Yeah. It's this converts a 6EU7, which is also got funny connections, and it brings it down to a 12AX7, which is a ECC83. So I made up those two little adapters for him, so that he can check those valves as well. Yeah, that's right at the end of the valve era. But I see the 6L6s, EL34s, and some of the other power valves, and also the common twin triodes. They're still being manufactured in more than one country. I thought it was only in Russia where they still make valves, but there are other people also still making valves, but enormous prices. I mean, a 6L6, when I bought 6L6s when I was in standard 9, it was R3.60 for a 6L6 GTG, which was the industrial grade 6L6. They are now like 400 or 500 Rand a piece. Not to mention the EL34s, they're even more expensive. Yeah, you still get KT66s new and KT88s and a few others. The popular ones for high power hi-fi amps and also for the guitar amps. So you can still buy them new if you've got like bags of money. And I mean, they don't last like transistors. They so many hours and they lose emission. They go down over the time. But anyway, I love playing with them, and Henry, as you know, I like building with the valves. It's so easy. Everything just works. And if something goes wrong and you see blue flames or a couple of sparkles, oh yeah, okay, I've got the grids mixed up, and you just swap them around and you carry on. It's not like with ICs or transistors, it's poof and it's gone. You put in a new one and try again. Yeah, much more forgiving. And you can explain to a guy electron for electron how the freaking thing works. Whereas with a transistor, moving holes is not my scene. So yeah, there you have it. Over to you, Henry. ZS6 Mike Charlie for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Delta Zero Charlie Whiskey. Maybe he's already gone. I don't know, and that's why I come in to fill the gap. Leon, what I have found here in the internet is a little town or village called Oberwölz in Austria, Steiermark, Austria, and they write here they have a special museum for such brass instruments. Maybe that's the town or the village you mean. Okay, then back to the cats. Yes, okay. That's all from my side. I wish you a nice afternoon, and we hope that we get rain and cooler temperatures. 70 degrees, all the best, and see you later. I will be in 1 week. I travel to Mongolia and will stay for 1 month. I have also a radio license for Mongolia. My call sign is Juliet Tango 1 Foxtrot Delta Bravo. Maybe we hear each other on shortwave. 70 trees, and I give the microphone and the picture to Gary. Gary, try and zip 70 trees, take it.
Okay, Frank. I just want to see if I'm in sync now. I had to switch off everything and restart, and I don't know why. I'm in sync now. I had to switch off everything and restart, and I don't know why. Now it's in sync. Mic 1, 1, 2. Now it's in sync. Mic 1, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm in sync now, so I'll just cut the audio. Okay, Frank. Yeah, lovely coming up. And Leon mentioned some valves. Oh boy, do I remember KT33s and KT66s, actually. KT66s. I built an amplifier using 4 KT66s and a massive Woden transformer, which I could hardly pick up. And so I built this thing on a chassis and had a nice little, almost like a graphic equalizer, but it was all volume control things, also valve done. And I worked and worked and worked a long time on this, and I coupled them to 2 clip-shorn speakers, massive things. So I switched on now for the first time in my school uniform still, but like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I don't hear any hum whatsoever. So I thought, ugh, hell, this thing's not working. And I had a turntable playing, a dual, made Grundig, actually bought these duals and sold them under the Grundig badge. Beautiful, beautiful record player, yeah, or turntable. Lovely thing, professional. You could actually even... Oh, Gav, ZS6GAV. How's it, Gavin? Nice to see you watching. Ah, yeah, there's a nice technical guy that should be on DATV. That's for sure. But anyway, thanks for the photo, Gav. So this dual, you could even lift it slowly while it's playing a record. You could go into vertical and the needle will play uphill. Fantastic thing. You could put a pen, like a pen under the record so it wobbles like this. And it would play perfect stereo. It's unbelievable how they developed that dual. Anyway, so I had this dual just with the stylus above the record, and I couldn't hear any hum whatsoever. And I thought, ugh, and I turned the volume up, and I forgot to turn it down. And I just let the lever go. I thought, ugh, damn it, geez. Like the next minute, there was a bloody explosion. That amp was working like a dream, man. But it popped 2 of my big clip-shorn speakers, big things. It looked like a welder clopped them. But hell, I switched off, and I quickly went to my bedroom, shoes, tie, school uniform, and on and all, and quickly switched off the light and made as I was sleeping. And it wasn't long, and my dad came and he opened the door to see what the hell, what was this explosion? And then but no, I'm sleeping. So death touched my shoulder. He would have killed me. At that time of night, I didn't even get out of my school uniform. Yes, like you. But boy, oh boy, did that amplifier play. Hey, it was an excellent, it was based on the Williamson design. And yeah, 4 of these KT66s. Beautiful, man. And yeah, when I replaced the speakers eventually, and they had transformers that size, coils, on the magnet, beautiful things. Anyway, I eventually had to save up and replace them. And that amp, man, it was high fidelity. And also, I had a little gadget in there that you could take it was just really working on different frequencies with chokes and coils and what have you. And so it sounded, if you play a mono record, it sounded like stereo. What do they call that darn thing again? It just works on the lower frequencies, goes to the 1, and then the tweeters and so forth. You see, what was the name now? Hey, getting old, can't remember these names. But it worked very well. All passive. And the audio was good. Right, with that, I think Henry has signed. Frank, thank you so much for coming up, and I certainly hope you're going to have a bit of cooler weather. And there's Daniel Bierman, Donnie, hello Donnie, ZS4 Delta Bravo, hello Donnie. Yeah, Donnie doesn't live too far from us. And then Albert in Holland is PA3G UK, and then old Gavin, ZS6GAV. He runs a lot of repeaters. He's been in the two-way industry for years. I know him very well, good friend, and a very helpful chap indeed. So, with that, I'll close the net. Pity it's not more people on tonight or today. However, it gives me the opportunity to look at that down converter. And yeah, I know ZS1AAJ, Potgieter. No, he was at one stage the president of the league, and his father was one of the first guys that we had on Hamnet. And he, yeah, all going back, but he's into flying. He's got a flying school and lots of aircraft down there. You might know him. Yeah, a good guy. Okay, with that, to you, Leon, and then maybe we can close the curtains. ZS1 Mexico. I hope the thing's in sync. ZS6 Yankee India, saying 7-3. All the best to everyone on frequency.
Okay, Gary, ZS6YI and the group ZS1. Cheers, Frank. Very, very nice seeing you, and hope you enjoy it there in Mongolia. I wonder what bands you're going to work there, or all the HF bands, or what. Anyway, I'm not that active. Well, I listen on 40 meters a lot and have a QSO once or twice, but yeah. Yeah, and thanks for, Uberwolz. That's right, I made a mistake there. Uberwolz. Okay, so that's in Austria. Okay, yeah, it's Geschwistermandel. They have competitions, big competitions. Frank Push, he's one of the adjudicators. He can play any instrument. It's amazing. And then all these young guys, they have to do their thing. Normally 2 pieces of music they must play, and there's a whole bank of guys sitting there and scoring them and so on. Yeah, it's very interesting, very, very interesting. Some really young guys playing those instruments, especially that stylish harmonica, a beautiful instrument. Okay, Gary, no, perfect. Your timing is spot on now. It's no problem. Yeah, all about the KT66s. I had a Williamson amplifier. I used it as a PA amplifier, believe it or not, at the airfield to sort of broadcast the local, the air to ground radio to all the different departments. Oh, by the way, we had the annual general meeting of the Flying Club. It wasn't last Friday, it was the previous one, I think. And they elected me as president of the Worcester Flying Club. Good heavens. I just immediately told them I don't do any paperwork. I don't touch paperwork. I sold her. So they said, don't worry. Anyway, okay, right. Henry is gone. Frank is signed. Yeah, I missed it that Henry signed. Okay, now anyway. So yeah, Gary. Okay, yeah, you have a look at that down converter. I'm very, very curious to find out about that. What's causing that? Because it's two in your possession now that have the same symptoms. All right. Cheers. We'll see you next time, and 73s to everybody on the streaming from ZS1 Mike in Worcester.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I was just very, very, very slow on the trigger, so I'm sorry about that. So anyway, nice seeing you guys. I'm now signing officially. Nice seeing you, Frank, and enjoy your time in Mongolia. I hope you have a great time. And yes, it's one of those interesting places that one should go to and just have a look. Anyway, all noted, Leon, on the EL34s and the 6L6s. Yes, those were the standard tubes that they used in the old days. And you're quite right. The reverb, they've got the reverb mechanism in those amplifiers. I don't know much about it, I must admit. I only used the amplifier. I never ever worked on it, so I don't really have the knowledge with regards to the amplifier. Okay, Gary, you have a good time, and nice seeing you as well. Nice seeing you, Leon, and hopefully we can do so again next week. Maybe it's a bit cooler for everybody in Europe, so that they can come on and spend some time with us. Okay, 73, and we'll speak again, that's for sure. All the best. Speak again, that's for sure.
Henry, I just noticed now, I forgot to mention, I see you've got exactly the same power supply that I've got there behind you, and I think also one of my oscilloscopes standing next to it, I think is also the same as what you've got, just by chance. Okay, cheers, it is 1mm off.
What do they say? Great minds think alike, eh? What do they say? Great minds think alike. I'm not going to talk about the fools never differ type of story. I just want to say hi to Piet Lotriet, ZS3 Papa Lima. Piet, ek hoop jy het goeie ontvangs geniet daar. Ja, gewoonlik het ons baie mense op van verskillende dele van die aardbol, maar vandag was dit net DD Zero Charlie Whiskey from Germany. But the rest were the South African net. That's quite a thing, eh? Cheers to you all. And yeah, it's a crossover network that I was thinking of. Yes, like how I get these brain freezes, man. Crossover network. You see, built many of them. Big chunky coils and caps and no oscilloscope to really work it out. You had to play for hours until you could get the thing separated. But it was good fun. That's how we learned, hey, Leon? Right, guys, 7-3 all round. And yeah, I'll try and get some coax sorted so that I can test this thing and get the spectrum analyzer out with a little sniffer and see if I can get that local oscillator and just have to calculate it. Cheers on beers. That is 6YI QRT for the last time. Sounds like the 80-meter net, Leon. Cheers, though.